afternoon, good day. My name is Jeff. You're watching me stream iracing. I'm getting ready to go through green hell, a wet green hell. I am not horribly optimistic. I'm not going to lie. I am genuinely dreading this race. I'm nervous, especially the fact that there's going to be rain. That's 37% chance of rain, which is 1/3. I didn't download all the setups. Shift W, default keybind for wipers. Patel, I've never used them. I have zero. Oh, my camera's off. Why is my camera off? There it is. Zero. This many. Laps, time, driving in the wet. field at Power Hydro.
Wheel damage.
Yeah, that would have been race ending right there. I'll have damage from off the track. This is stupid. It rains, no one's getting across the finish line. Bet. up on my other monitor right now. First time lap. High-speed corner up here, you don't have grip. So we're going to come off it a little bit here. Add a little brake. There we go. Okay. Probably came off it too much. this is all without somebody, you know, driving with their spray up in front of me or whatever. So it's just gonna get worse. You can tell by my attitude I'm not horribly optimistic about this race. Race ending. Right now, the time to beat is a 9:31 by a 3500 irate driver. Ah, this is stupid. Fucking stupid. I think you're failing to see that I've already got 12 incidents. Of those 12, at least 9 of them were race ending. And I'm on my second lap. That's the problem. So if I average 6 incidents per lap, that's wheel damage. That's wheel damage. That would have been race ending. That's my point right there. I don't want to sit down for, 8 hours for us to fucking, 45 minutes of repair. Like, I just feel like that's just a waste of everyone's time, Like, I'm trying, dude. Like, I'm legit trying to put in this practice. I'm legit trying to take this shit serious. But I am, with me behind the wheel in these conditions, I don't foresee us crossing the finish line. And that's just me and my skill level, right? Like, that's not accounting for anyone else on the team, Like, let's say everyone else drives perfectly, flawlessly. I really hope they do. Like, I still will probably garner 150 incidents in 4 hours. We'll get DQ'd at 250. Assuming everyone else drives a perfect race, I'm gonna have like 90 to 100 incidents over the course of like 4 hours of driving, is my estimate. So it's just really frustrating because it's like, because I want to do this, I want to, but I'm seeing what the performance, at least on my half, is going to look like, and I'm not optimistic at all. That wouldn't have been race ending, that would have just been front end damage. I fucked up their last lap too, which was a 10-minute, 10-second lap, by the way. These 25, 3500s are putting up 930s. So like, that's the standard. Or the bar, rather. I'm noticing you basically just have to stay in the middle of the track most of the time. I mean, you can see the water puddles. But even then, it still feels like I'm driving on cold tires. Just how much, you slide around. I mean, I hate to be negative Nancy and all that, but it's just like, like I'm seeing this happen on my end, and it's just like, I don't want you guys to sit in the car, put in your stint, 3 guys put in their stints, and then it's my turn for a stint, it starts fucking raining, and it's just, we end up with 45 minutes of repairs because this track is unforgiving. And icing on the cake is like, this isn't even in proximity of other cars right now. Like, closest guy is 55 seconds behind me, Do this with 50 cars on the track competing with each other, and I think it's a recipe for a bad day. Dean's in the session. Let's see what kind of times he ends up putting up. He's probably just finishing up his out lap now. Yeah, he's a minute ahead of me. But I appreciate your positive words of encouragement, Misha. Another 10-10.
11.093.
10-11. My worst turn complex there. I can't ever get that one out. Hey, Dean's just in front of me. Looks like he's still on his out lap. I don't know why it breaks so much there. Guess we're okay. That wouldn't have been anything. Maybe a little front end damage. Little wide. You're good, dude. Don't even sweat it. Out there making down money. All Alright, I fuck this corner up every time, so let's see. Early braking. The tires still feel cold, like I'm driving on cold tires. Like everything is ice. The tires are most certainly not cold. They're definitely warmed up. They just feel cold. Just driving in the wet, I guess. What? Yep.
You've got wheel damage.
That would have been probably a tow. So 5 minutes to the tow to the pits, plus probably 7-8 minutes of repair right there. So there's 10 minutes. That would have been nothing.
You have about 5 laps of fuel left.
Thanks, Jim. Pius Moser. I've seen that name before. I think he's raced in some of my practice sessions. A little wide. Lay it on me. Corner I fuck up. Okay, good. Gotta do some heavy lifting there. Light braking through here. This. Back on it. Full brake. Downshift. My music's a little loud. I need to turn that down. I always fuck that corner up when it's dry. I actually go through that better in the wet. I think it's because I come in cautious. And then I go into that overconfident. Cost me going to wide, go a little wide. We're good though. Damn it, a little wide. There's 3 more X there just by going wide. Up to 23X. We're on our 3rd lap. 10% of our overall allotment of 250. 3 laps. I'm gonna turn down the music in this straight here a little bit. Oh, I gotta get it bound to a button or something like that. There we go. It was just a little loud in my ear. Oh, that's why I know Matthias Foster. He's a 5.5K rating driver, and he put up a 923. Came in, put in the 923, and left. That's why I know him. That's what he does every fucking session. Comes in, puts in a fast time, and then leaves. What a tool. Ah, shit.
You've got wheel damage.
Yep. At least we would have been able to drive this to the pits. Alright, let's see what this lap is.
52.621.
Sub 10 minutes, let's go!
You got a slow car on the right.
It's slickery out there, man. I was so stoked that I hit a sub 10. That dude came out of the pits. Luckily there was no contact, it was just a loss of control, so 2x.
Car stopped on the right. Car stopped on the right. Go left.
There we go, that was better through there. Okay, we didn't go wide there like I did last lap. That's good. An improvement. God damn it. I must have hit a button. I wonder if that was... I wonder how long that's been up. Thank you. Fuck. I don't think that's been up all that long. That might have been up when I changed the volume. Thank you, Misha. I have like a Steam Deck clone controller. It's basically an extra keypad. And I use that to kind of control elements of the stream. Like I could swap screens and mute it and god damn it, that sucks. Oh well. So yeah, it sounds like when I click my mouse to because I have a wireless mouse and I have to click to like reactivate it, but wherever the cursor is on the screen, it'll fucking click, right? And so I must have clicked when clicked on the scene transition. That sucks. You didn't miss anything. Whole lot of the same. I'm trying to pull away and open up this gap from this guy behind me. He's on his outlap though, so I should be pulling away further, but started at about 15 seconds. So I am slowly pulling away. Yeah, I keep it professional around here. As you can tell, I'm a professional streamer. Well, that sucks, but we fixed it. Thank you for pointing that out. Hi, Coda. I got a Coda mlem. She came in and mlemmed my elbow. No. I was blessed by my doggo. It's gonna be a good lap. Well, that means that you didn't see my 9:52 finish. That came in under 10 minutes. I was pretty stoked about that. So much so that I missed the dude coming out of the pits and caused us both to wreck because I had to slam on the brakes, and doing that in the wet doesn't work. So that's probably a good thing. I fucked this turd up even in the dry. Well, I've kept the gap. Alright, it's opening up because I'm in the long straight here. Okay, so I opened it up for like 20 seconds. So I put 5 seconds in between him and me. But he's also on his out lap, you know, so there's that. I'm on my 4th lap. My 30th incident point. So you got to get on the brakes a little earlier there. In the way, clearly.
.399.
Alright, 956. See if I can't get one up for garage, for 61, 51, whatever. Basically a no incident lap. Ah! The range has stopped. Yeah, the sun just came out. Range has stopped. Hour left in this session. This just makes me think of petrichor. The smell of rain. But it smells amazing out of the Nordschleife after a rain. And it's raining again. It's very Nordschleife-esque. Half of the track will be sunny, the other half's going to be rainy. It's such a big track.
You have about 2 laps of fuel left.
Remember, I gotta start braking a little earlier up here. Like right here. Yeah, much better. And I did that without incident.
.937. You just hit the fastest lap.
No, Not on the track. My fastest lap. In the wet. Without incident.
Car 72, just set the fastest lap, 46.744.
Woo! Little loose there.
about 1 lap of fuel left.
Damn it! Got a 1X. I know I've got a pit for fuel, but I want to bank this lap time.
You should pit to refuel.
I don't wanna. I want to put this time in the books. Okay.
36.592. New fast flat for you. Range should clear up soon.
Alright, well that was a full stint. That was 7 laps with an out lap. So technically 8. Oh. Stretch. Let's look at this real quick. So I just put in a 936. Which ain't too shabby considering the fastest is put by this dude, a 919. So I'm still 20 seconds off pace. But it does give me a little more hope. It does give me a little confidence booster. Let's watch that lap. Nope, wrong lap. Now we can't see shit because of the spray. Come on. Shit, wrong button. Wrong button. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. That's the one I wanted to push. Watching this lap back, this was my fastest, the 936. Far cry better than the 1010 I put up. And I have 1x on those laps, which so it's not going to count in Garage 51 or whatever. So I had to give the doggos a little attention for a second. So, I mean, this track is so big that, you know, you'll have rain in some sections and sun in the others. That's obvious, right? It's a 16-mile track. Almost 17 mile, I think. Can't park there. I'm never very confident through here. I always feel like I really slow down, even in the dry. Excuse me. Smoking this joint. That was not a very smooth turn. So you can really see the driving line. And truth be told, like, you just, in the wet here, you just extra avoid the curves because that's where all the puddling is. You see? So I'm learning. This is a good session to learn a bit about the track in the wet. And I'm not like dead last slow here, which makes me feel a little better. I mean, the guys that are putting up the 9 teens, right? The 9 minute and then the teens, they're like 5K drivers. So I am not. I'm closer to a 1K driver than a 5K driver all day. But the name of the game is to improve. If I can hit 2K, I will be a happy camper. Is it going to happen this year? Unlikely. I'm still learning tracks. And when I start getting to the point where it's like, oh, I've already learned this track this race week, then it's a matter of, okay, how do I, now that I know this track, how do I start shaving time off, right? You know, if I'm doing, you know, 830s here in the dry next season, or next, whenever we go back around to the Nurb, there was my off track, by the way. I will have to learn the track. And then it's a matter of learning how to be faster on the track. So, this is a long game. This isn't something that you can sit down and master in the evening. And I keep beating myself up because it's like, I've been doing this every day, damn near, since the start of the year. Why am I not improving? Well, because it's only been 5 months. And I am improving. Maybe not as fast as I'd like, but I'm here. So Misha, if you are listening, and I'll tap you in Discord, I'm still game. I'm still in, even with Ray. I'm just frustrated that I'm not seeing my improvements happen faster, so you can count on me being there. I'll Roger up in the channel when you throw it up there. Although in the rain, this section isn't nearly as fun because you don't fly here. I like to catch air. Slow through here. Alright, so even though this was my fastest lap, I still have a lot of room for improvement. Right?
Range should clear up soon. Let us know if you want dry tyres.
Alright, I'm going to stick with wet. This will be a wet to dry transition. We've only got a few minutes left in the practice session. well, 30 minutes. I said a few.
You got a slow car on the right. Car stopped on the right. Go left. Got wheel damage.
That would have been race ending. Maybe. That was more of a skim than a fall skid. I think it's an outlap. I'll try something here. No, you cannot go flat out through that turn. Learning has occurred. Not my best section there. Or there. big old rooster tail of water getting pulled up into the air from the track. Yeah, you gotta do more than lift there. It's gotta be you gotta hit the brakes too, apparently. That would have been race ending. You fucking hit hard there if you don't nail that corner. Now I've seen people enter this carousel more centered track, so I want to try that out. I think that's just a better entry point. Seems I went through it faster. I'll take it. You know, 2/10 of a second, whatever. All adds up. So here we're practicing a wet to dry transition. Trying to be conscious of the situation and the conditions, because as typical, you fight like you train. Now that I've gained a little bit more confidence around here, he says as he loses control. Oh hey! Saved it. No damage. No damage. Meaning I didn't pick up any damage. Also, there's no damage in this session, so that would not have... That would have just been a loss of time and morale and confidence. But this is practice. Carry on. I mean, if there was a race, you'd also have to carry on because, you know, it's a race. Well, I know what happened back there was I got loose, I got on the brakes and overcorrected, which caused me to spin out. I was glancing down at my relatives, and I knew that guy was behind me and closing quickly. And I was just thinking, I don't want to screw up his lap. He's doing good. He's also like a 6K driver, so that's why he was, you know. Anyways. Philip Loam. Yeah, he's the dude who said a 910. Alright, lock in. Get my camera back up. Hi. I'm raw dogging the steering wheel. I'm not wearing my gloves right now. I need to wash them. Starting to get a little dirty. That area really dried up. Said a 911.5 Philip Loam did, then he left. I won't be racing in his split, don't worry guys. Oh, there's my off track, so that's not going to count this lap anyways. God damn it. Not gonna save it. Get off of the track here. Alright, I'm gonna type something out. Self-promotion. Well, I put up like a fucking 10-minute, 45-second lap time. It's windy, by the way. It's been windy out for us here in California. Not like tornado wind, but like, fuck me. Hey, it's wet right there on the inside turn. But like, you know, 60 mile per hour gusts. That's crazy wind. No, we're getting like 20s. And I have to blow some of my potted plants over. That's what I'm trying to see.
Car 13, just set the fastest lap. 22.993.
Okay, so that was, I'm starting to understand. That was the fastest lap without an incident from what I could gather. Unless it was a different class car, which why would Jim tell me? Track is wet. And I'm driving around here like it's dry. Because it's not like, just because it's not coming down on my windscreen, right? Good practice for dry-in conditions. So it seems like the racing line is still kind of slick. Alright, I can get one more lap in before the end of the session. So we'll do it. .168. God damn it. Gotta want it. Maybe I can still salvage the time. Lost a whole second there.
You have about 5 laps of fuel left.
much time there. It's a fucking stupid lap. Like, stupid quick. I know we're going from wet to damp conditions here, right? So that's the only reason why I'm taking off so much speed, I think. That would be my bet. The car's dialed in, getting all the grip I need. Like, it's still wet. Like, I can feel them sliding around a lot, but not nearly as much as it was when, like, the wipers had to be on, right? And it's reflecting in the time. Fuck, dude, if I didn't lose it, I would be like 20 seconds up right now. I'm 13 seconds right now. Let's see what our top speed is in the straight. With wet tires on, 160. Okay. We were at like 155, maybe 157 when it was coming down.
.081. New fastest lap for you.
That's gonna wrap up the session there, boys. Fuck your code. Alright, well. Session ends in 45. Let me add some X's to the X's, right? No, I think I had like 48 before I started flipping on here. damn it, my mic's been like muted this whole time.